Goblin Shortcutters, Marauding Maulhorns, and then backing those up with blue spells like Time Ebb to be able to tempo people out.
That's a deck I like in this format, but we haven't seen a lot of. Joshua Snyder, calling that deck Black-White's actually a little ambitious. 14 swamps.
Sure.
So, for those counting at home, that is 0 mountains on this team.
Wow.
And only 3 plains.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So Joshua Snyder, you might recognize, he is in the far seat over there against Christopher Larson. He won SCG Charlotte. I believe that was the Standard Open, the most recent Charlotte Open. And his brother, I believe, Asa Snyder, has a top 16 GP finish in last year.
Okay.
And he's also recently won an SCG IQ.
So maybe we'll see him next weekend too.
Absolutely.
Invitational, New Jersey. Maybe.
And Charles Thompson is a family friend, I believe. He doesn't get a lot of chance to play because he's in the military.
But, if you're in town, you may as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with Joshua Snyder and Christopher Larson.
Christopher Larson is top 8 at Grand Prix Miami and a 2-headed giant master by his own proclamation.
Yep. He's also a member of Team Rocket, which you might see tweets from every once in a while if you follow these guys on Twitter. Thomas and Michael especially. Team Rocket is the Danish team that put a lot of work into the Death and Taxes deck that won Grand Prix Strasbourg and also gave Thomas Enevolosen a top 4 finish.
So Josh Snyder has had a 1-drop Festering Newt and a 2-drop Corpse Hauler off all swamps to Larson's Island Swamp. Or Island Mountain, sorry.
Island Mountain, and Joshua is curving out here. Looks like he can play a 3-drop should he so choose. Or no, that was a Quag Sickness, so that's not exactly what he's looking for. Flames the Firebrand's going to be able to take those guys out. 1-1-1. I like it.
Josh Snyder dropping to 11, losing his 1 and 2 drop and having no 3 drop. Christopher Larson looked like he had a young Pyromancer in hand, but because he was setting up the Flames, didn't want to expose it to the Newt trigger.
Yep. There's Flames the Firebrand on the left, one of the better elimination spells in the format. Possibly could have saved it for the Liliana's Reaver that Joshua Snyder has just played.
In case you haven't seen that one, that's a doozy.
Yep, Liliana's Reaver is 2 colorless and 2 black. It's going to get time-ebbed currently just to keep it off of the board, which is a good play out of that.
It's a 4/3 Death Touch, and whenever it does damage to your opponent, they discard a card and you get a 2/2 tap zombie.
Yeah, very powerful spell.
Comes back down?
Wearing Liliana's headdress on his head, by the way.
Really? I don't know these things. It's going to die to a Volcanic Geyser from Christopher Larson. Board at parity, Josh Snyder plays his 5th Swamp. He had missed a land drop the previous turn, but now gets a Nightwing Shade into play, which we've been watching all day crush people. That card is shockingly good.
Yep.
I'm hoping he has a shock right here.
Yeah, I was really hoping that he had a shock here.
For the
For the fantastic pun option.
Looks like he's got 2 spells he's working on casting.
Just 2 creatures. It's a Regathian Firecat and a Scroll Thief. I think that Christopher, sitting at such a high life total, comparatively speaking, compared to Joshua's quick start of 1-drop, 2-drop Liliana's Reaver, is completely content to develop his board before trying to knock off the Nightwing Shade and letting Joshua pump mana into the Nightwing Shade to try and turn. He's willing to sacrifice damage for tempo.
Well, looking at his hand, it's a young Pyromancer and a Shivan Dragon, and I think the more likely line is that he's trying to pull the removal onto this Firecat or this Scroll Thief, so that this Dragon can just come down, take over the game, like Shivan Dragon does. I think we saw that one last round.
Absolutely.
Shivan Dragon doing its business in Drew Levin's deck.
Joshua Snyder has Quag Sickness in hand that he's going to use to kill the Scroll Thief.
Interesting.
Christopher Larson immediately reaching for a creature.
Nightwing Shade gets in for 3, putting Christopher Larson to 13. The fear of that Scroll Thief is, I feel like 3, this is basically like saying, this guy's a Scroll Thief, and whenever it hits you, it draws a Lava Spike for free. And I like that.
And there's Shivan Dragon. Joshua Snyder does have Auramancer in his hand, but no white mana currently.
He also has a Pacifism
He has a second Auramancer. So he has 2 Auramancers, Pacifism. He just needs to find one of his planes.
It's that's a Blood Baron.
Blood Baron. Not Blood Baron of Viscopa. It is Blood Baron, and that is this set's Nantucket Husk
Phyrexian Ghoul, if you want to go
Phyrexian
way
Ghoul,
back.
absolutely. The difference, of course, on Blood Baron is it says sacrifice another creature,
Yep.
as opposed to sacrifice a creature.
So-
'Cause flavorfully speaking, vampires aren't going to sacrifice themselves.
So the Fire Cat and the Shivan Dragon get in. Blood Baron jumps in front of the Fire Cat, trades. Nightwing Shade is a potential 3/3, opts not to get into the red zone. And Shivan Dragon pumps to a 6, dropping Josh to 9. And Chris follows up with a Young Pyromancer and another Fire Cat.
Yeah.
Still at 13, well out of range of the Shade. Josh has 3 mana. He's the Quag Sickness to take down the
Yep, drew another
dragon.
Quag Sickness.
Quag Sickness. Nightwing Shade as a 3/3 is probably kind of hang back and block this Fire Cat down.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Christopher Larson is a big fan of Fire Cat in this format.
Oh, but we're taking a shortcut.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Fire Cat. The more I watch it, just
It's 4 power for 3 mana. The toughness is almost irrelevant most
Yep.
of the time. You very rarely find creatures that have 4
Yeah.
power that are 4 mana in this format. So
Yeah.
getting well above.
especially Shiv's Embrace is a card.
Yep.
Josh Snyder packing it in alongside when Christopher Larson exposes a trained Condor alongside the Fire Cat. Another combo to the air. Nice one.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's
I-
going to take game 1 pretty quickly with those Fire Cats, even facing
Yeah,
down all of that elimination and all of that, the early aggression from
Yeah.
Joshua Snyder.
I really like the blue cards alongside these Fire Cats. It looks like he has only 2 of them, but he's got 2 Shiv's Embrace to go along with them. We saw Time Map Vacuum, he's got 2 of those. He has the Condor. He's got the Scroll Thief as another card you want to force through with that. This is kind of like its own Saboteur, I believe is the sort of non-ability to ability name for that.
Sure.
Archetype where, I'm going to consider Regathan Fire Cat kind of a Saboteur. It casts Lava Axe every time it hits
Yeah,
them, basically.
exactly. He just wants to get a lot of power on the board and then use his tempo spells to force it
Shortcutters.
through.
Yeah, his deck's, he's got Fire Cats, Maulhorns. He's got just this big beat-down red-blue deck that just gets a guy down, shoves it at your face, and
Yep.
then has some burn to finish it off.
Meanwhile, Thomas Enevolosen's the one who has Liliana's Reaver in play now against
It looks like
Asa
it's
Snyder.
connected.
It has connected, and it's joined by a friend there, Zombie Token,
And a Corpse Hauler.
as well as a Corpse Hauler, going to be able to rebuy whatever he so chooses. Thomas has 3 planes in play with 2 swamps, so he's going to be able to rebuy the Reaver should it ever die, basically.
Meanwhile, Asa Snyder's sitting over there. He's just got a Seacoast Drake and 4 islands in his mono blue deck in play. He's going to get hit by the Reaver again, it looks like.
Oh, disperse.
Disperse. Reaver is going to untap, and Thomas is
gonna
going
be
to just
cast.
tap 4 lands, put it back into play.
Yep, not a-
Snyder's stuck on 4 lands, it looks like. He discarded a Messenger Drake last turn.
Yeah, and he's got Jace
He's got
Memory Adept
nothing.
in hand, but couldn't find an opportunity to cast it to use it as a win condition. And Thomas Enevolosen's aggressive zombie apocalypse is going to come over and get the lead there. So now we're going to go to our 3rd match. We're going to get to see all 3 matches. How nice is that?
Yeah.
We're going to join Michael Bonde, SCG Worcester, standard open champion with Junk Aristocrats.
Yeah, that was very recently. It was 2 weeks ago?
2 weekends ago. Yep.
Yeah.
And so he was able to queue for the Invitational in one of his few tries.
Worth noting, Michael Bond and Thomas Enevolosen, both top 4 GP Strasbourg.
Yep, with the same deck, the same
Death and
the
Taxes,
Death and Taxes deck.
Yeah, and
Yep, Tomas won that event. I believe
beating-
Michael lost to Tomas, actually.
was it Tomas or Jacob Wilson?
It might have been
That's who
Jacob
lost in the
Wilson.
finals.
Yeah, Jacob Wilson made it to the finals there, of course.
So Michael Bond is bringing the beat down with a Scavenging Ooze, a Root Walla, and a Sliver Construct. Charles is a bit under the gun at 7 life. Michael has some kind of Briarpack Alpha to put this ooze over the top of the Woodland Behemoth?
And
Woodborne
that
Behemoth.
is going to be the end of
Oh,
that
that's
game.
enough of that? Okay, well that's cool.
So Team Denmark is going to have a 1-0 lead across the board as all 3 matches are shuffling up here. Let's take a quick break to break down exactly what's going on in this tournament and next weekend, because this is, of course, the Team Sealed Open for M14. We do one of these now every time a new set comes out, and it is also
There's an upcoming one, I believe, in Worcester?
Worcester,
later this year?
Massachusetts later
Is that,
this year.
Is that M14 as well, or
No,
is that
that-
right after Theros comes
That
out?
will be Theros. And so right after Theros comes out, we're going to have a team sealed open in Worcester, Massachusetts. And of course, this event leads up to the Invitational.
Yes.
The Star City Games Invitational.
In New Jersey next week.
In New Jersey next weekend.
So it's
a big deal.
Yeah, pretty big deal.
Among things that are happening there, in addition to the Invitational itself, Mythic Madness is the big promotion.
Yeah.
Which
kind of like the Gold Rushes in the past.
Absolutely.
But,
it's our third Gold Rush,
yeah.
but this is the first one that's not at a Grand Prix.
Right. So everyone who participates in either of the Opens, and I believe
wins an if you win an 8-player side event, then you get an envelope. If you enroll in the Open, you get an envelope.
If you 4-0 the Legacy Challenge?
I believe if you 4-0 the Legacy Challenge, you also get. I mean, that's how it's worked in the past. Cause how I would assume it.
And then any leftovers go to the people.
The top X finishers of the Legacy Open.
I'm working on that one.
Ari will be getting himself 2 envelopes, I imagine.
Yeah,
for his 68th place finish. I'm sorry, what? No.
Yeah,
so,
I'll see if I'll make it to the main event, but definitely going to be casting some cool spells in Legacy.
Now, these envelopes that I'm talking about, all of our Gold Rush promotions have something special. This particular time, we're doing Mythic Madness. Every time a Mythic Rare has been printed, it's been printed many times. Star City has some of them, and we want to give them back to the people. We're going to have 7 of every Mythic Rare ever printed. 7 Modern Masters Tarmogoyfs. 7 Jace the Mind... Nope, that's a rare.
Oh, it's a rare. Darn.
7 Jace the Mind Sculptors from Worldway. 7 Colonian Hydras from M14, right? Which is a card that you may not have yet. Absolutely. So these are some very exciting things. 7 of every Mythic Rare ever printed will be randomly given away in those envelopes, and that's going to be a really good time. You might even want to show up, even if you were planning on playing in the Invitational. It's tempting to want to just play in the Opens to get these envelopes.
Maybe.
Among other things that you can get at the Invitational are, of course, if you win, you get your own token.
Yeah, that's the prize I'm actually, like this cash, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, I want a token.
Yeah, right?
Last
time Jerry Thompson created his own token, he became a 2020 flying indestructible creature.
Is it a horror?
It is I believe it's an avatar.
Avatar? Okay.
I think. And he's a legendary dude as well, and so that's a really good promotion. And
so it looks like we're going to start up game 2 in the middle matchup. Thomas Enevolosen versus Asa Snyder. Thomas is on the play. Ace is opting to draw first, and it's not necessarily a very fast matchup.
Right.
Neither player's played anything on their turn 1 or 2, just 2 swamps to 2 islands. Thomas plays a Plains to go with his swamps, plays a 1/3 Griffin Sentinel. Yeah,
Asa certainly wants to have as many cards as he can possibly get, and Thomas's deck is not sufficiently aggressive for him to worry about.
Well, that's what he thinks. There's 3 Corpse Haulers. He can bring the pain.
He can bring the pain if he so chooses. There's also a Lifebane zombie,
which
is
vampires.
Unblockable pretty much against Ace's deck. And
another Griffin Sentinel joins the first one for Thomas, facing down Ace's Phantom Warrior, even up the clock. Left field is now 18 Thomas, 19 Asa after the attack from Griffin Sentinel to the attack from Phantom Warrior.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Phantom Warrior in these mono blue decks. I guess it's fine, but I would much rather Phantom Warrior be in a deck with a support color, because the support colors have the auras to make it good.
I think Phantom Warrior is just awesome regardless, so I'm not going to complain about it ever.
It's a very good card. I'm not saying it isn't, but if my deck is full of 1/3 flyers, it's not the most impressive creature on the planet.
It's got to hold the fort, and they'll take it home eventually.
That's fair.
Also, there's the Illusionary Armor.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine. So, Illusionary Armor is a good example.
So, Griffin Sentinel's in. Asa drops to 17. Thomas has the 4th land and a Deathgaze Basilisk, or Cockatrice.
Yep, Deathgaze Cockatrice, 2/2 flying. Death Touch is going to get canceled. I think if you're Tomas, you're fine with that.
Yeah, could be a Liliana's Reaver, could be anything, really.
Yep, I think that Asa, unless Asa happens to just drop the Jace here, then you're not happy with the cancel.
Well,
but otherwise,
if there's a Jace in play, you're never happy.
Sure. Well, you can attack it immediately if you've got the 4-power flyers.
So Asa Divinations, Thomas dropping to 16 after a Phantom Warrior attack. Just gonna pass the turn back.
Leaving up, looks like Essence Scatter,
Yeah. Essence Scatter or Negate.
possibly Negate.
Disperse. Asa dropping to 15 from this attack with 2 Griffin Sentinels. And Thomas looking at a hand with a lot of spells and opting to cast an Accursed Spirit.
Yep, a Cursed Spirit, a 3-power, essentially unblockable creature against Asa.
3/2 Intimidates.
Yep, Asa does not have any way to block the Accursed Spirit in
No
his deck.
artifact creatures.
Nope, no artifact creatures, no Mutavault.
Mutavault is colorless, not artifact though.
Yeah, I misread Intimidate.
Yeah.
So
That's getting
Never
time
mind.
ebbed, and the Phantom Warriors cracking.
Time
in for
Ebb is
2
going to
more
be able
damage.
to definitely deal with it, though, especially since Thomas missed his land drop.
Yeah, we're gonna get. This race doesn't necessarily favor Asa significantly, but it maintains a bit of parity. If Thomas gets another creature in play, the race is just way behind. But at least we're racing.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what I put it.
I think that
we're not just chipping away with this Phantom Warrior, hoping that we'll draw it out and get away.
And that's my
that
main
way.
problem with Phantom Warrior in this format is usually it can't efficiently race. It doesn't have the support behind it to be able to hold up to anything, even 4 power worth of flyers from a deck that has white
Yeah, well,
creatures in it.
I think the issue is that the other flyers you're just so used to seeing, like, oh, I've got Sarah Angel, shove,
Sure.
forward. And they end the game so fast, these rares and these uncommons. Cancel hits the Accursed Spirit on the way back down. Yep. Looks like Asa has a couple more lands in his hand. Phantom Warriors cracking in for another 2.
The
Thomas
blue deck,
to 12.
the blue deck
Asa
is fine
13.
with having a lot of lands in its hand though, because it just wants to be able to play out a 5-drop and hold back Negate, or a 4-drop and hold back Cancel. So
Or just draw a bunch of cards. Unfortunately, Flow of Ideas isn't in the format for it.
yeah,
Asa going to 11 off these Griffin Sentinels. Thomas looking at a hand of options.
yep. Blightcaster is a choice. He also has a choice of Deathgaze Cockatrice.
Yeah.
Looks like a late Corpse Trader is also in hand.
A little late to the party. We're looking,
Certainly not too late though.
no,
Serviceable
respectable. 2 powers, 2 power. Corpse Trader is going to come alongside that Auramancer once he draws another land, most likely.
Man. Yep.
Blightcaster hitting the table. Asa,
Ace is going to take a read on Blightcaster, and I believe so will we.
will fire off an opportunity here.
There's Blightcaster.
Ooh, opportunity. When you have a lot of lands, opportunity is a nice card.
Opportunity is a fantastic
It's just
card.
always a good card. Opportunity
Also
is,
can randomly combine with Jace to win the game on the spot to not give
Yeah.
them upkeep options
Mill
with the
them.
target player.
Phantom Warrior cracks in, Thomas dropping to 10. Asa surveying his now many options. 2, bounces the 4-drop. The Blightcaster.
Playing a very good, it's a very good tempo game here.
Yeah.
He's just chipping in for 2, bounce your guy, bounce your guy, bounce your guy.
He drops a Warden of Evos Isle. The Windrake that makes your other flyers cost less.
Yep.
Griffin Sentinels come in. Asa drops to 10 because the 2/2 blocks the 1/3. And Blightcaster hits the battlefield
Yet again.
yet again.
With Ace's pair of 2/2s, Blightcaster threatening to 2 for 1 with any Quag Sickness, and even turn any Divine Favor into an elimination spell.
Yes.
Phantom Warrior is going to drop Thomas into single digits. This Phantom Warrior doing all the work by itself, and it's because of cards like Time Ebb, Disperse, Claustrophobia. Not the best Claustrophobia I've ever seen.
He's working on racing.
Yes.
That's his idea.
Keeping the 3 toughness creature at bay.
Worth noting, I saw a negate or 2 in Ace's hand, but
That's not going to counter the Blightcaster.
Right, it triggers on casting an enchantment spell. But instead, Asa just has a Deathgaze Cockatrice and a Corpse Hauler.
Yep, just play 2 power
Or
guys.
Thomas says. Asa just blocks, goes to 9. Divination for Asa, draws 2 cards. More lands, more card draw, card draw spells
He gets
off
a
your card draw
Messenger Drake
spells.
and a Seacoast Drake out of it.
Yep. Phantom Warrior cracks in, Thomas to 6. That's 7 attacks on that Phantom Warrior. Tick-tock.
Yep. Asa, I think, is going to be able to fire off 3 flying blue creatures this turn. A 1-mana Seacoast Drake, a 4-mana Messenger Drake, And I believe he has another flyer in his hand because of that Warden of Enevolosen.
He could also just leave up in the gate.
Yep. There's Warden of Enevolosen, art by Nils Ham, also famous for doing Thragtusk, very unique style with a very not non-specific shapes, I guess is what you'd call them.
Messenger Drake, Seacoast Drake, all the Drakes.
All the Drakes that you can ever want.
Thomas draws. Hand of Spells.
Handful of spells, none of them auras, I don't think.
That looks like a Synder vampire, though.
Yeah, Synder Vampire is going to change things up a little bit. Although
He still has to answer that Phantom Warrior.
Yep. And there's a Jace.
That's
I don't think Jace changes any much here. I think
it lets
that,
Asa draw cards.
I think that
that's all he's
that
been doing.
He would just
he wants
plus
to draw
one
more
draw
cards.
card.
So Jace Memory, that's going to crash down on the table over here.
Yep, and that is in play even though it's off screen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm thinking about if we're in a range where if we tick it up and then tick it up again, if the ultimate is lethal or not.
It certainly looks like it.
It's close. If I knew how many cards were in Thomas's hand, we could figure it out. Because he loses 2 cards per turn on that. One's for draw, one's for the mill off Jace.
Yep.
It's close. Jace is a scary card. It's been referred to as like the most powerful limited card. It's been the last 3 core sets.
Yes.
The most powerful limited card in most.
Yeah,
It's been
just by the nature of the core set.
Yeah.
Or the nature of the format being 40 cards.
Yes.
And being able to mill 10, that's basically the end of the game. Whereas in Constructed, you'd still have 20 cards left in your library.
Right.
I remember in M13, it was a lot easier to deal with Jace Memory Adept. It's not nearly as easy to deal with in this format. So
it was definitely still the best rare, but it was
still the best rare. But at least you could do something about it.
Yeah. So Phantom Warrior brings Thomas down to 4. Jace brings Thomas down to have to kill this soon. But Thomas drew a Quag Sickness. That's going to fire off and kill a lot of things, especially with the Oromancer in his hand.
Yep, Quag Sickness is a good draw.
Quag Sickness is going to target the Messenger Drake, get negated. The trigger's going to kill the Phantom Warrior.
Yep. And the Oromancer is going to be able to go get that back. In the meantime, Michael Bonde has defeated Charles Thompson 2 games to 0. So Team Denmark is up a game on Team Snyder Thompson.
Up a game match.
A game match.
It's
up
weird
1
to think
to
about
nothing.
this. It's weird in this format. Oromancer hits the battlefield, rebuys Quag Sickness. Thomas just passes the turn. Asa draws another land. Can activate Jace, go up to 6. If I had to guess, he's just waiting for the Jace ultimate to take this one home. Interesting, we dealt, 16 and now we're dealing 40,
Yeah, exactly.
It's the old half and half. The best is when you have poison damage and the half and half and half.
Yeah. Have them with 1 card in their library, 9 poison and 1 life, and then be able to finish them off with the draw 3, get 3 poison counters, lose 3 life.
Oh, Larson also won 2-0, and this is just the funsies game.
Absolutely.
So
you've heard of the Sign in Blood, the Sign in Blood game, basically. If you kill someone with Sign in Blood, by making them lose life and deck them with the same Sign in Blood, the person that gets Sign in Blooded has to sign the Sign in Blood
in blood.
That
sounds kind of disgusting.
It's a little gross, but I've never seen it happen. It's still funny to me.
So Quag Sickness comes down again.
And Asa can't negate that fast enough, picking up the islands.
Evos Isle going down. Sanger Vampire, Oromancer, Deathgaze Cockatrice, 2 Griffin Sentinels, a Claustrophobia Blightcaster, and a Corpse Hauler for Thomas. Facing down Asa's Messenger Drake, Seacoast Drake, and Scroll Thief.
Yeah, and
everyone's just going at the Jace.
The problem for Asa is that even though he was able to negate the Quag Sickness both times, it was a 2-for-1 both times.
Yeah.
Because he traded for a negate and a creature both times, as opposed to 2 creatures, so that's fine, but Thomas was still able to garner card advantage.
So I think that Asa just wants to throw his guy in front of the Oromancer for that. The Messenger Drake should probably eat one of these 1/3s and potentially set up a lethal attack. He instead is going to try and keep this Jason play, which I'm not sure how I'm feeling that. Unless these creatures are all coming at the face.
Yeah. It depends on how Asa wants this game to proceed.
Team talking it through, just, even though you've lost, there's no reason not to figure out the best play
Absolutely.
to learn.
There's no reason not to.
Uh-oh, we're counting.
How many we got? Did you count? Is that 10?
Looked about 16.
16?
It's my ballpark estimate. 16 and a half. Is that a good number?
Sounds good to me. So, I believe that these creatures are coming at Asa and not at the Planeswalker. Is that true? Or are they coming at the Jace?
It's hard to tell. So,
so Thomas ends up that combat with a vastly superior board position. He has a 5/5 Senior Vampire now. I'm not sure how many +1/+1 counters I've ever put on Senior Vampire.
Not many.
By the way, not many.
Most of the time when a counter gets on it, it was getting chump block for lethal anyways. Asa draws a Claustrophobia. Looks like he kept Jason play.
One of the most important cards I find for this mono blue control deck in Sealed is Sensory Deprivation. Just to be able to slow down the early aggression, being able to take out all of the power on a 3-drop creature for only 1 mana, being able to leave up counter spells. Asa has no copies in his deck.
Yeah, it's, Cedric and I have been really excited whenever someone does multiple things in a turn, and that is a card that does multiple things a turn.
Absolutely, yeah. Sensory Deprivation was one of the best cards I had in my pre-release Sealed pool, as Cedric Phillips can attest. I had many a Sensory Deprivation when I played against him, and Asa doesn't have those in his arsenal, among the many reasons why Thomas was able to take down that match. So, the team of Christopher Larson, Thomas Enevolosen, and Michael Bonde, Team Denmark defeats Team Snyder Thompson 6-0, it appears.
Yeah, that would be a solid victory.
Well, it's 2 points no matter if it's a dunk or a layup. So